the understanding of the golf swing, which I firmly believe tremendous amount of golfers haven't really got the correct understanding of how the golf swing works, of what you're actually trying to achieve, which then muddles the brain, and then you're trying to do one thing, the setup's trying to do another, and then everything gets crossed over and you get totally confused and you get very frustrated. It can be a very frustrating game. You've got to try and take that out, and you're trying to enjoy the sport that you want to play. So it's very easy to fall into the trap of thinking that the club would come straight back and straight through. So as you can see, the pointer, that you're trying to keep that dead straight, keeping it on line to the target and then pushing it through to the target, which is very easy to fall into that trap. Common sense wise, you would think, well, if you keep the club straight back and then straight through, that would hit it straight, which is, why wouldn't you think that? But unfortunately that's not wrong. We're not playing cricket, so we're not trying to keep it straight back and straight through kind of thing. It's more of a rotational sport. So if you're going to connect to sport, golf, to anything, it would be tennis. That is more a rotational move. We're side on to the target, the ball's away from us, so we are rotating back and through. As you can see with the pointer on this now, that as you swing back it will open up as you go back, and as you come back through it will square up and then rotate round. But golf is very much a sequence of what you put in place. So to achieve that rotational move and the checkpoints that I'll tell you in a minute, which a lot of people will be given those checkpoints, there's something wrong with that. So when you swing back, you turn back and you're trying to get that shaft in line with the toes, the toe of the club pointing up in the air, that's on your backswing, so just the waist height, and then back through, it's a mirror image to that side, so you're looking for a mirror image either side, so you're turning back and you've got your toe pointing up, and then as you come through you're trying to get the same position that side, so you've got that one on the way through, so it's again in sync with the toes and the toe pointing up. But various things can stop that. So if you have got that checkpoint, you are trying to achieve the right move, but you feel you can't do it, then that's because something's wrong in the setup. So that's where tennis people will make that error. They've got the right idea, so they think, well, they've worked out that it isn't a straight back and straight through sport, it's a rotational sport. So you are trying to do that, desperately do that move, but if you've then got the setup in the wrong position, if you're sat down, so that will cause you very difficult to turn from the hips, which will cause you to struggle to get a rotation, to get that turn, or if you're stood sort of too upright, that will have a similar effect, as in you'll then swing outside the line and it will be difficult to again get that rotation. Or if your grip slightly out, so you've got a strong right hand, a weak left hand, that can then cause that club face to be in the wrong position, so pointing down, even if the best will in the world, you're trying to get it point up, the toe pointing up. So if you then try to achieve that, you'll then bodge it, so you'll then end up rolling those wrists to achieve that, and you might achieve it occasionally, but then it will be that quite inconsistent, so then it will end up, so when you swing back the club will be right behind you, so then you end up with a flat shut swing at the top. So it's very, very difficult if you've got to get the right idea first. So it's very much a rotational sport, so you're trying to rotate back and through. But to get that, please make sure that you've got everything in place. So you've got the grip in place, you've got your posture in place, and once you've got those two massive elements in place, which is in the setup, then make sure you're trying to achieve that move. One thing I do with the juniors to give them that feel is to do a baseball hit down there, which they love. So for various different reasons, good bit of fun, good bit of speed. But if you've got any previous sport that you've played and you've got that image in your head of what you've done previously of hitting that ball down there, so you can see that's a rotational move, or even just throwing a ball down there, so you get yourself set in your golf posture position, and you wouldn't throw it like that. You would more, if you're trying to get any power, you would turn back and then you would turn through and release it down there. If you wanted to throw it down there straight with some power, you wouldn't throw it straight back and straight through. So try and get something of what sport you played previously, or anything that will give you that image in that head that you can relate to. Something that you can relate to makes things a lot easier to achieve. But just trying to get the understanding of that game first. That's a rotational move, will make it clear in the mind, which will then be able to tell the muscles what to do. Get the setup correct, which will enable you then physically to do the move. So then it gives you a bit of understanding of the goal swing. Just concentrate on that waist height to waist height to begin with. That waist height to waist height is the engine room of the swing. You can then extend the swing from there, but if you get that idea correct first of waist height to waist height, then you're on the right track and you're away. Just try not to do things too fast to begin with. Just take your time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. The goal swing, learning that goal swing is a marathon, definitely. But if you do the first bit nice and steady, and then you're just gradually picking up pace, then you'll keep going and you won't hit that brick wall. If you do the first bit too fast, then you'll hit a brick wall straight away, and it's very difficult to unpick. I hope that gives you a bit more of a better understanding. Any questions or comments, send them through. Give my video a good thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one.